Hello again, everybody. I had a question on the video I posted up on the Supermatic from a gentleman online, and he was kind of quizzing me about his cigarettes ripping the paper as he was injecting them. So I told him that I'd go ahead and put up another video, and this one's going to kind of encompass the internal workings of this particular machine, how to take it apart with confidence, how to put everything back together, maybe a little bit of inspection of the pieces, and finally what you can do to try to adjust it if that is happening to you. Now it will require a few tools. I have everything here laid out for me. You can find whatever you need that would work, but what I'm using is a 1/4 inch socket, a 5/16 inch socket, and a 9/16 inch socket. Now these fit the hardware on my machine. Yours may vary somewhat. Now this is going to give you an idea to do it. Of course, I make disclaimer that anything you do to your equipment or your machines, you're on your own. But to kind of get into it and just take it apart, of course, the first thing you want to do is flip it over. It's got this rubber, don't even know, base on the bottom. Just go ahead and pull it off. You'll probably find some tobacco in here that's gotten into the machine. Clean it up, set it aside, whatever you want to do. Internally on the machine, I just use a soft bristled brush, and just kind of wipe it off. Occasionally you'll want to do this just to keep everything clean up inside. If you do it fairly frequently, nothing really gums up. It's actually pretty easy to do. So anyway, to get this thing apart, or actually show you how it works, if you just go through the motions, it's pretty self-explanatory. That the first operation here closes the hopper, and then of course when you go to inject it, the spoon will stick out the side, and right here is the contact point that releases the tube off of the machine. Now that is over here, obviously. So let's start taking this thing apart, setting everything aside. There's only one thing in here that you want to pay mind to if you're kind of leery about doing this, and it's where this particular bolt right here, this nut, is tightened up with the adjustment lever that comes out through the front. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Not really necessary in my part, but you might want to do this just for a little peace of mind so you can get it back exactly the way it was if things don't turn out for you. So just take a Sharpie and mark all around this one particular bracket. Hopefully you can see this like so, and also try to get right down in here by this washer and make a little hash mark right there. And that will ensure that if you do take it apart, you can get it back exactly the way it was and not have to worry about it. So let's start taking this thing apart. The first thing you want to do is remove the springs. I'm going to do it with my fingers. You may want to, get a little assistant tool, maybe a pair of pliers, needle nose pliers. There's going to be 2 springs, a long one and a short one. Let's just go ahead and take those off and set them aside. And now, everything will operate without any resistance. The next thing we want to do is remove the spoon, and for that I am going to use, I believe, the 5/16 socket on my little driver here. This one's actually slotted, so you could use just a regular screwdriver if you wanted to, but I'm just going to take out that one little bolt right here, and that's a step bolt. We'll set that aside, and then from the back of the machine the spoon will just slide out. Now this is one of the 2 plastic parts in this particular machine, which has the spoon crimped onto this plastic thing here. So we'll set that aside. You can inspect it. You can also get these parts online, which I might discuss in a little bit, but let's just keep moving for prosperity's sake. Now this particular nut right here will be the next thing that we take off, and to do that you'll probably want to hang on to your lever a little bit, and this one is a little tight. Now you may have to work on that, it will come loose. So we'll take that off, set it aside. Now this particular arm right here will just lift right off of this. And you can see where this has actually been scraping in here. This is actually a little bit bent. So that piece you can set aside. The next piece will be this cam lever right here. Just pull it straight up. It's slotted. Can only go on one of two ways, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. And then now your handle will just pop right out of the top, like so. There's no need to take this particular piece apart, to my knowledge, so we'll just set that whole assembly aside. And then now you can see we're down in here to these. Let me keep it in the same orientation. To the H bar is what I'll call it. It's got a couple links off either side that actually moves the cutter in and out, like so. Now you're going to have two nuts here on the bottom, but you don't, on this model, you don't want to just start loosening those up right there. Flip it over and you'll see these little brass ones on the top. Those are the ones we're going to hit. And this, just to size it all up, this is a 1/4 inch socket right here. So I'm just going to loosen this up. For those of you that do not know, it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. So if it's not coming off real easy, you might be going the wrong way. So I'll just take these off with my fingers and set those aside. And that one's spinning on me. You may have to turn them over and hold the back if it's spinning. There we go. And if you pop them up from the back, you can pull out these little step bolts as well and set those aside. On mine, 2 of them are silver in color and 1 of them is black, like a black oxide. I don't know if they all look the same to me, but just you might want to put them back in the same order.